Welcome, deep divers. You know, there's this question that I've been thinking about quite a bit. Why is it that some leaders, some organizations, even big movements, like think about Martin Luther King Jr. or Steve Jobs at Apple, or even the Wright brothers, why do they inspire such incredible devotion and manage these huge successes?
Yeah, while others, maybe with just as many resources, smart people.
Exactly. They just sort of fizzle out or don't have that same impact.
It's a great question.
Well, today we're diving deep into that very puzzle. We're going to unpack some answers straight from Start With Why, 15th Anniversary Edition, How Great Leaders Inspire Everyone to Take Action. It's by Simon Sinek.
Ah, the 15th Anniversary Edition.
Yep, this special edition just came out from Penguin, May 15, 2025. You can grab it in paperback for about £10.99 or Kindle for £7.99.
Good to know.
And really, if you're trying to figure out what makes success stick, lasting success, innovation, real influence.
Whether that's in business, leading a team,
or even just like your own personal goals. This book offers a really compelling way to think about it. It promises this powerful lens just by asking one seemingly simple question.
The WHY.
Exactly. But before we really get into the meat of it, just a quick reminder, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and maybe give the video a like.
Helps us out a lot.
It does. This is the Deep Sea Diaries, and you can find us on the usual spots, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook.
All the links for the book and everything else we talk about are down in the description.
Right. Check out the terms and conditions when you get a chance. Okay, let's get started.
So the core idea, as you said, is the WHY. And Sinek's point is that the WHY isn't about what you make or do. It's not even really about how you do it better than someone else.
Oh, okay. So what is it then?
It's deeper. It's the purpose, the cause, the core belief that actually drives you or your organization. It's the fundamental reason you exist. Beyond just making money, it's why anyone else should care.
Right, not just the features or the price tag.
Exactly. And most people, most companies, they communicate completely backward, according to Sinek. They start from the outside in.
How so?
They say, here's what we do. We make great computers. Then maybe here's how we do it. They're user-friendly, beautifully designed.
That sounds pretty standard.
It is. But Sinek introduces this concept he calls the golden circle. Imagine 3 concentric rings.
Okay.
On the outside, you have what? Inside that how, and right at the very center, the core is WHY.
So starting from the inside.
Precisely. Great leaders, inspired organizations, they communicate inside out. They start with why they do what they do. Then they talk about how they do it. And only then, what they actually offer.
So it flips the script entirely. That feels pretty profound, actually. It sounds simple, but I bet people misunderstand the WHY concept a lot.
Oh, absolutely. A huge one is thinking your why is to make a profit.
Right, but Sinek says profit is just a result. Yeah.
Exactly. It's a result of having a clear WHY and executing on it, but it's not the WHY itself. Another mistake is confusing it with, like, a mission statement.
Which is often more about the what or how.
Right. The WHY is emotional. Sinek connects it to the limbic brain, the part that drives feelings, behavior, decision-making, not just the rational neocortex that understands features and facts.
Interesting. So it taps into something deeper. Where else does this WHY principle really make a difference, maybe somewhere less obvious?
Well, resilience, I think. When you're driven by a purpose, a real WHY, you're way more likely to push through tough times.
Because it's not just about the paycheck or the short-term goal.
Exactly. You believe in what you're doing. It's intrinsic motivation, not just external pressure. That's a huge difference when things get hard.
That really is a powerful distinction. So building on that, Sinek talks about 2 main ways to influence people's behavior, right? One sounds maybe less ideal.
Yeah, he draws a really sharp line between manipulation and inspiration.
Okay, let's break that down. Manipulation sounds negative.
It often is, in his view. It relies on things like playing on fear, using peer pressure, dangling aspirations, novelty. Price drops are a big one.
Promotions, sales.
Exactly. And look, these things can work. They can drive a sale, get a click, produce a short-term result.
But it doesn't build loyalty?
Not deep loyalty, no, because the motivation is external. As soon as the price goes back up or a competitor offers a bigger discount, that customer might be gone. There's no real connection.
So what's the alternative? Inspiration.
Inspiration. And that comes from connecting with people on the level of their own beliefs and values, their own WHY.
Finding common ground.
Yes. When you clearly articulate your why do be why, you attract people who believe what you believe.
Yeah.
And that creates a powerful bond. It fosters real loyalty, trust, engagement. a sense of belonging even.
That's where his famous line comes in, isn't it?
People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. It's fundamental to his whole argument. Trust isn't about the product specs, it's about shared values. When you connect there, that's inspiration. That's lasting.
And you really see that with the examples he uses, like the ones we mentioned earlier. Martin Luther King Jr. didn't outline a policy plan first. He shared a dream, a why.
A belief in equality.
Steve Jobs wasn't just selling computers. He was selling a challenge to the status quo, empowering individuals. That was his why.
Yeah, thinking differently.
And the Wright brothers. Their why was about pushing boundaries, achieving the impossible, not just building a flying machine.
They inspired people because they pursued a belief against all odds.
It really makes you stop and think, doesn't it? How often we just focus on the tasks, the products, and completely miss that driving why.
Absolutely. The impact came from the belief, not just the artifact or the action itself.
Okay, so this powerful WHY concept obviously comes from Simon Sinek himself. His own story and credibility must play a big part in the book's impact.
Definitely. Sinek is, well, he describes himself as an optimist. And his whole career seems dedicated to figuring out and teaching how leaders can genuinely inspire people.
And his reach is pretty incredible, right? Not just business.
No, it's huge. He's worked with startups, massive Fortune 50 companies, but also like Hollywood studios, even the Pentagon. It's broad.
And that TED Talk is legendary.
5th most popular of all time, I think. It really distilled this core start with why idea for millions. Plus, he's written other bestsellers like Leaders Eat Last, so he's definitely lived and breathed this stuff for a long time.
So he walks the walk. What about the book itself, this 15th anniversary edition? How's it structured?
It's pretty concise, actually, about 272 pages, and this new edition adds some timely updates.
Oh. Like what?
Particularly around the challenge of sticking to your WHY when you're constantly bombarded by social media and short-term distractions. How to maintain that focus.
That's definitely relevant today.
Very. And structurally, one thing people often mention is how the core concept, that golden circle we talked about, is, let's say, well-explained and well-repeated.
Repeated, huh? We'll probably come back to that.
We will. But Sinek clearly wants that framework, WHY, how, what to stick. And, well, repetition does tend to aid memory. You definitely leave the book understanding the golden circle.
Okay, so despite potential repetition, what are the big strengths people consistently point out? Why does this book resonate so much?
Well, first off, it's just really readable. People find it clear, accessible. We saw reviews calling it well-written and easy to read, even surprising in its insights despite the simple core idea.
So it's not dense academic stuff.
Not at all. And it's incredibly inspirational. That Why philosophy itself just hits home for a lot of readers. It's thought-provoking, makes you question your own approach.
You feel the authenticity, too.
Yes, that comes through. People see it as authentic, consistent. Sinek uses, as reviewers say, plenty of proof, not necessarily hard data, but compelling real-world examples to back up his claims.
Which examples stood out?
He uses a lot of practical examples, and importantly, ones most people recognize. Apple, obviously, is a huge one, but also companies like Walmart, Costco, Southwest Airlines. He analyzes their successes and failures through the lens of WHY.
Makes it relatable.
Very. And that's why it's so often called a must-read for business owners or anyone in leadership. It gives you tangible takeaways for thinking about workplace issues, motivating your team. It all comes back to asking why.
It sounds incredibly valuable. I hope you're enjoying the topic so far. Please subscribe to the Deep Seek Diaries and like this video.
Every click helps.
It really does. Don't forget, you can find us on the major social media platforms like YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and as always, linked in the description section are all the resources in discussion today, including books, websites, and so on.
Check those out.
Okay, so we've talked about the strengths, the core ideas, but no book is perfect. To give a balanced view, what are some of the criticisms or areas where readers wanted, maybe, something different?
Right. It's important to look at that, too. And the single most common piece of feedback, the one you see over and over, is...
Let me guess. Repetition.
You got it. Repetitiveness. Some reviewers found it boring and repetitive, or felt that once they grasped the golden circle concept early on, the rest of the book felt like it was just hammering the same point with different examples.
One reviewer quote I saw was pretty memorable. On repeat, 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 on a loop, on a loop, on a loop.
Ha! Yes, that captures the sentiment for some. It feels like the author might be over-explaining, perhaps assuming the reader needs a lot of reinforcement.
Okay, so repetition is the big one. Anything else?
Another point is the focus on very large examples. Apple, Walmart, historical movement.
They're big guys.
Yeah. Some readers, especially maybe those running smaller businesses or startups, wished for more case studies that felt, more directly applicable to their scale. The principles are universal, Sinek argues, but the examples lean heavily towards Fortune 500 level.
I can see how that might feel less directly relatable if you're, say, a 5-person company.
Exactly. And then there are occasional comments on style. Some find it feels very American in its tone and examples, or maybe a little outdated or kitschy in places.
Style is subjective, of course.
Always. And one other critique worth mentioning is the perceived lack of hard quantitative research. It's based more on Sinek's observations, interpretations, and anecdotes rather than, say, large-scale statistical studies.
So it's more of a compelling framework built on observation than a research paper.
That's a good way to put it. Powerful ideas, convincingly argued with examples, but maybe not rigorously proven in a purely academic sense for those seeking that.
Got it. So considering those strengths and potential drawbacks, who is this book really for? Who gets the most out of it?
Well, fundamentally, it's for anyone who wants to understand what truly drives success and inspiration. Leaders, obviously new managers, experienced execs, business owners, entrepreneurs.
Big or small business?
I'd say any scale, despite the focus on large examples in the book. The principle applies universally, but it's broader too. As one reviewer said, it's really for everyone, doesn't matter what age or what stage of their career journey.
Because everyone has or seeks a why.
Exactly. If you're looking for purpose in your work or life, this offers a powerful framework.
And what are the key actions someone could take after reading it? What are the practical applications?
Okay, several things. First, you can fundamentally change your communication, your marketing style even. Start leading with why to connect with customers and employees on belief, not just features.
Inspire rather than just sell.
Right. Second, you can use the why framework to diagnose workplace issues. Like, if you have a demotivated team member, maybe understanding their why or the lack of connection to the company's why is the key, rather than just focusing on their performance what.
Getting to the root cause.
Exactly. And third, on a personal level, it prompts you to really reconnect with your own cause. What actually drives you? It helps you filter opportunities and decisions, discerning what matters next from what truly matters most.
Moving from a to-do list to a purpose-driven approach.
That's the goal. Now, who might not click with it? Well, if you have absolutely zero tolerance for repetition, you might find parts frustrating.
As we discussed.
And if you only want highly specific small business case studies and aren't interested in the overarching concept illustrated by bigger examples, maybe it's not the perfect fit. But honestly, for most people seeking inspiration and a new leadership perspective, the core message is powerful enough to overlook those aspects.
That makes sense. So let's bring it all together by looking at the voice of the readers, the Amazon reviews. What's the overall verdict from the crowd?
The verdict is overwhelmingly positive. As you mentioned, it holds a strong 4.5 out of 5 stars globally, and that's from over 15,000 ratings. That's significant.
15,000. Wow. So people are definitely connecting with it. What positive themes keep popping up in those thousands of reviews?
The same ones we've been discussing. Really, readability is huge. People love that it's easy to grasp. The inspirational quality, it genuinely motivates people. Sinek's authenticity and his whole approach to leadership get a lot of praise.
And the practical value.
Yes. Constantly hearing it's a must-read for business owners, offering real value. The core message just lands powerfully for a lot of people.
And the criticisms. Does the repetition issue show up there too?
Oh, yeah. It's the main counterpoint. Amazon's own AI summary of reviews flags repetition as the primary recurring criticism. Examples being repeated, the core message being reiterated, it's consistently mentioned by those who rated it lower.
So the customer feedback really mirrors our discussion, strong appreciation for the core message and its impact, tempered by this consistent observation about the repetitive structure.
Exactly. It seems people either find the repetition helpful for reinforcement or a bit tedious once they've grasped the concept. But the power of the WHY itself is rarely disputed.
Fascinating how a single core idea can be both the book's greatest strength and, for some, its main structural critique.
It really speaks to the clarity and focus of Sinek's message, doesn't it?
It does. So, as we wrap up, maybe a final thought for our listeners to chew on.
Sure. How about this? As you reflect on what we've explored today, just ask yourself, What if the biggest barrier holding you back from your next big success, your next level of impact, isn't that you don't know what to do or even how to do it better?
Uh,
What if the real barrier is simply not knowing, or maybe, just maybe, having forgotten your deep down WHY?
it's definitely something to think about.
I hope you have enjoyed today's episode of the Deep Seek Diaries.
It's been a great discussion.
Please don't forget to check out the link resources in the description section. You'll find the link to start with why there.
And please hit the subscribe and like buttons as you head off, if you haven't already. It really helps us keep these deep dives coming.
Until the next episode, goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone.